so far.
Yeah, so far so good. The first 6 minutes of the season has been highly entertaining. Let's see what the next 5 brings us now on Aquadome as RazeBull starts it off. He had CRR streaking downfield with him. AJG there, and it's along the goal line and in with the lead blockers in front.
Tell you what, though, you can get a screenshot of all 3 players on complexity, all pushing up at the exact same point. CRR going for that bump. You then see RazeBull. He wants to get himself away from it because he sees how clumped up they are. But great push from AJG. Manages to shoot on the post. Just about squeezes its way in. And in the first 10 seconds, that's a complexity lead. Are they going to try and hunker down like they attempted in that first game, despite the fact they conceded 13 shots? I don't know. Furia's attack is terrifying.
Furia did get over their average from the Invitational as Card deflects one back towards AJG. He's got RazeBull upfield. That one kisses the ceiling, but RazeBull's got the read all the way across towards AJG, but Card in the way. Looking for Yan in front, and it does not reach. He'll have to go for went for that corner boost and actually missed it. That slows him down. Kept him in the area, and CRR can deflect this across. So almost a fortuitous mistake, and Card slams one off the crossbar. Yan to follow. His shot sent away by RazeBull. Now Card tried to turn around on this, forced it through, but AJG is there to stand tall in front of Kaio.
God, how many pre-jumps do you fancy? On either side, both of them reckon that they've checked each other's library books out, and they're just reading from every single page. There's pre-jump after pre-jump, and we're seeing so many of them. They managed to actually work as well. I mean, I've seen a couple of chances where I think fakes can come in. I think Kyle had a decent shot. He went for a fake shot on the goal line, but a little bit too close. So you can definitely try and get out of the way of them. But with a flip reset coming in, we said it earlier, Gibbs, T-Bates, whoever's doubting him, Yan never left.
My gosh. Card getting in the way as well, going after RazeBull, trying to clear the runway. Yan didn't need it. He needs very little help when he is on. He's got 2 out of the 3 goals now for Furia. Now RazeBull trying to answer right back and reclaim the lead for complexity. CRR waiting all alone at the back against Card and Kaio. And he does manage to stop the duo. Very proactive defense, and it had to be, as Yan goes over top of CRR. That matchup is going to be incredibly fun to watch as this series continues on. Card just a little bit faster than RazeBull, whipped there by CRR, but AJG just got a piece, beating Card to the punch.
Kaio, though, first of that ball, and Carl wanted to turn it back round, isn't quite able to, and Carl now going to try and find it central. Yan, though, did not want to push up too far, and CRR defensively, yet again, taking the initiative on that play. Yan straight to this thing with 30 boost. He just has to get this one down, but as it whips around that top ramp, comes back in the center from Card. CRR pre-jumping on not really anything in particular, just wants to look threatening in the sky like a vulture or an eagle, something equally as American, or whatever the bird is in the middle of the of various flags around the world. Halfway through this first game, drops central into that orange half. Isn't able to get any shots off, but again, these demos starting to rein in more and more complexity. Getting a kill, but AJG can't wrap himself around this one.
And maybe just a little too antsy on that play. I don't think he needed to be as quick as he was, and as a result, couldn't get around on a shot. He gets a mulligan here, and Kaio had to just wait after the challenge by Yan. RazeBull a little faster, complexity back in front.
With the double touch in the sky, Yan had to do something. But RazeBull, he had the initiative again to just be pushing up as far as he can, is able to send into the top corner as well from a pretty awkward angle, and taking the lead for complexity. Great movement from every single player on the pitch from COL right now.
Oh, Kaio's giving one away. AJG will not miss that right down Main Street.
It's again off the kickoff. Quick goals. Kaio, an absolute misread. Manages to shoot central of the net, but AJG given a freebie. Yan, no chance he was getting back for that if AJG is present. Thankfully, he was. Pretty devastating kickoff there for Furia. Looking a little bit rattled, thinking, oh, God, maybe we should have stayed away from these guys. They've had our number for a little while now.
You have to go back to the RLCS Championships in the summer of 2021, where you get the last matchup between these players in the RLCS, as RazeBull had to be careful with that one with Kaio coming across. It was true neutral, which was RazeBull, AJG, and Chad beating the combination of Card and Kaio that was Furia at the time. Candor rounding out that roster before Jan ultimately joined them. Oh, whiff by Razebull up at the stealing, and AJG there to clean up the mess, but it is ugly at the back right now for Complexity, who had been solid for about a game and a half in this series. Maybe letting things slip a little bit. Card is there, and his shot sailed high.
Stacks, you said about how long it's been since these two played in the RLCS, and you said what it was, full regional 2, right, in South America. That's the last time they played each other, RLCS, I believe.
It would have been the RLCSX SAM Championships.
Was it a championship? Okay, in which case my stat is completely useless. I must have misread something somewhere. Anyway, Complexity, they're going to be carrying on with this league with 2 goals to the good as well. But look at the pressure coming in from Furia. Great touches down. AJG stealing that save away. Takes into a position where actually Kaio able to challenge, but doing nothing with it. AJG manages to save his own bacon. Able to get it central again, just playing keep away. Has to as much as they can right now, Complexity.
So now Razebull playing this away. Of course, the last time these two rosters met, period, would have been that Gamers 8 quarterfinal that Furia won on route to their massive victory. CRR gonna play this one away. 8 seconds left. Got this one just about in the bag, unless Furia can score here and get a shot at a kickoff goal. That's not gonna happen as time's gonna run out, and Complexity ties up the series on Aquadome.
We knew it'd be close, we knew it'd be scary, but we didn't know it was going to necessarily be this high flying, because that is some of the best quality we've seen, I think, out of Complexity, where I think there are a couple of doubts coming in for them. You know, they came to North America, they made that full regional, that full major rather, where they just had to scrape by Space Station Gaming, did a brilliant job, then didn't necessarily perform to a crazy standard. You know, they got to the top 8, but people were seeing them as the best team in South America. What can they do at these lands? Still did very well, of course. But then they kind of fell off somewhat. We weren't too convinced that it was necessarily the best move they could have made. But they are taking down Furia in that game at least. They are still incredibly competitive.
I got some score updates for you.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go through it. Rebellion, one of the teams not invited to the Invitational Qualifier, but then went through the closed qualifiers and went 3-0. They're up 2-0 on Rogue right now. The only other 2-0 that I see as of this moment is G2, so they're looking pretty good. So G2 fans don't have to worry too much there. But Axel and V1 are tied at 1 apiece, which is a bit of a surprise, I would say. And FaZe, I know we were talking about Gen G. FaZe is up 1-0 in that series so far. So that's what we got going on right now, but these series are still going along. It looks like Optic and PK don't even have a match done yet from what I'm looking at. So maybe long overtime, or maybe some admins are just doing crazy things. I'm not sure.
I mean, if anybody wants to see any of these matches as well, please go to Rocket League on Twitch, browse the game category, make sure that you're supporting any of your favorite teams. Of course, we're just seeing 1 per round here on the main stream because it's, you know, we'll try and cherry pick the most exciting one. And if this one wraps up early, then we get to watch a couple of the others, do some listenings. It's a right old party over there.
And if you ever get sick of us, you've got Jorby over on the Furia stream, the #1 Furia fanboy amongst our numbers. And Dex and Hiruko over on Complexity stream, as usual. Here's CRR trying to kick off game 3 with a bang. Almost got card again off the respawn. Jan a little awkward there, at least able to keep that close to the vest. And AJG slows that down. CRR gonna need some help. Oh, maybe not. He forced that all the way through. Now Razebull coming across, and Card is right there, combining with his longtime teammate Kaio, and this is set out of harm's way.
God, that was just a couple of ridiculous saves coming out, and an incredible dribble as well. CR wants to try and repeat history, but instead saves AJG's shot away. Razebull, can he wrap around it? He does so. That's on target, but Kaio is able to save away the soft shot that ends up flying towards that net. Scary times though for for Furia. They're having to face down the wrath of Complexity, something that previously it's been a couple of counter-attacks and, you know, a couple of fantastic passes going in, but this is now sustained pressure, and CRR wanting to go for the double isn't able to. Razebull again trying to follow up. A minute and a half of near constant pressure from Complexity.
One thing we can appreciate about this matchup, the highlight editors won't have a whole lot of work to do when it comes time to compile a top 10 plays, because man, oh man, these two human highlight reels worth of rosters. Razebull couldn't get one out to CRR, opted for the backboard, and now Jan gonna make them pay for it. No, AJG there to stuff him. CRR there to block Kaio as well. So now it's Card's turn to come up, and he's gonna give that ball away to Razebull. Another great defensive stand from Complexity.
But that took 2 minutes for Furia to get their first shot. That is huge pushing from Complexity to just keep them out of that blue half. And CRR now wants to carry on down the pitch. Razebull wants to also rather fancy himself for that double, but Jan is there to keep it away. AJG with 100 boost gets one block, flies nicely. But Jan, look at him just continue to follow. Great movement, great pressure. Razebull again pushing far. That manages to get over the far defender. Card just has to watch that one trickle in. Razebull with the opener in game 3.
One of the most helpless feelings as Card's trying to get back, and Razebull that last touch to propel the ball beyond his reach right before the halfway mark. And Complexity picking up where they left off on Aquadome. Out to an early lead. Can they sustain it? Maybe not. Card one-on-one with AJG.
Oh.
Good luck. No contest.
Card ends that play with 0 boost, but he comes out of it with 1 goal. Just goes up for 1 jump, keeps it low, and then AJG, what else is he going to do? He's got that sideways momentum. Card just has to shoot it the other way, because AJG isn't going to be able to cover that backside of himself. Dead on halftime, dead on even. The Juggernauts just continue sending mortars down range at each other.
What you're saying is there is absolutely nothing that separates Complexity from Furia.
Apart from a boatload of death on Furia's side after AJG's done with them.
Yeah, plenty of demolitions, mostly on the Complexity side so far in this series, where neither team was very physical in their qualifier runs. Was Furia had a couple different qualifiers to play.
Oh!
They're looking to make good on it here. Jan with the double.
Jan, my God, man! How do you go up for that just gentle touch over the top? Razebull misses it, and then you slice the top corner in half like you've taken a katana to a watermelon. Incredible movement. Furia, they go up in the 3rd game.
What an incredible visual. Here goes AJG. Now Razebull gonna slow it down. Going up against Jan. Got it to the backboard, and CRR just a little too slow to the play. Kaio out of his reach. And AJG back downfield. CRR and Jan both up. Both teams throwing a lot of caution to the wind now, as maybe you can expect an offensive explosion between these two former South American squads. AJG trying to get that away from Kaio. He's able to track the play. Now Card. Oh, a little hesitation. They weren't on the same page.
Ooh.
His shot goes right at AJG, who once upon a time had farmed some saves in his former region. Now considered one of the best in not just his region, but maybe one of the best defenders in the world.
Gonna have to continue that though, because they need to not let up any other goals. Furia leading in this game, and it's a minute remaining for Complexity to find another one, otherwise they go down to that match point. Razebull, go for a nice double touch down off the ground. The pinch does not manage to go his way though, can't get the touch off the post either. As we enter the final minute, and a pass going central. Razebull wants to go for the top right, but that is where Jan has made a nest.
Furia have had to work overtime to keep Complexity from forcing it, as Jan's got this one away, and AJG's got to retreat back now. Complexity trying to reset and regain on the offensive end, but they got to play some defense first. That's brilliant from Razebull, trying to get around Jan. Good luck. Now CRR around Kaio, but nobody else could continue the play. Inside 30 seconds now, and Furia looking to deliver the final touches on a series lead, but now they've got 20 seconds. AJG with CRR waiting to his right behind him. Razebull, his shot's way high, and Card will collect. Final 10 now. The final countdown of game 3. Who goes on match point? CRR with Razebull underneath, and Jan got the deflection away. AJG trying to keep it alive, but Card brings it to ground, and Furia has the lead.
2-1 in the series, and it's just so close at every single turn. As you said, Stacks, we can barely separate these two. And there's a couple more games that are going on elsewhere. Gibbs an update.
Dignitas versus NRG, a long overtime, 6 minutes and 48 into that overtime. Dignitas wins game 1, 3-2. A couple other results. We see Gen G tie up the series versus FaZe at 1-1. G2 is through. They only gave up 1 goal in their series versus Luminosity. So that's good news for G2 fans. Space Station is up 2-0 as well. And Rebellion takes down Rogue in a 3-0 sweep. Again, that team was not invited to the qualifiers, and they thought that they should have been, and now they come out with a statement game.
Yeah, they do. They came into this whole event with a chip on their shoulder, and they were fantastic through the closed qualifiers last weekend, and now carrying that through today. They get a big 3-0 over what I thought was going to be a really good test for them. I think it was a great test for both teams, and unfortunately, Rogue was not up to the task.
I'm excited though, seeing, we've got Gen G taking the game versus FaZe. I think obviously they're always going to say we want to be winning that series, but Gibbs, I think that's a very good result for them at minimum, right?
Yeah, that is. And also, when we look back at the Invitational Qualifier, FaZe only went 3-2. They're normally so consistently a top 4 team in NA, but a 3-2 result there, and now with Gen G battling close, like maybe FaZe hasn't found their form just yet.
All right, we've still got a lot more games there to see whether that is going to be the case. But thank you, Gibbs. We get into game number 4 here on the beautiful Utopia. And we're seeing a couple of those billboards around the side as well, saying about San Diego football kits. Seeing that in game soon. So exciting times. A lot of decals coming to Rocket League, my word.
Oh, yeah. A lot of decals. The sweet San Diego Loyal jersey that's coming out Sunday. As Card, you're going to have to try and dance around in his own back line. And he does get that up to the corner. And AJG delaying long enough for Raiseball to come up, but here's Jan. Boy, he is a huge difference maker when you've got that tool on either end of the field. As AJG only as far as Kaio. He's got Jan in the middle, passed a little too far back, and Jan trying to make something out of nothing there. Card will wait, and Raiseball kind of invited him in, and careful what you wish for.
First minute this time going a little bit differently to how we saw the previous game go, where now it's the pressure for Furia. A bit more close to the statistics that we would probably expect, but Raiseball from his own backline manages to send that pretty far with Jan. And collecting in the midfield with one flip reset, he does get blocked again by CRR. Those free jumps looking unbelievable. The accuracy that he has got to read the game, alongside with obviously challenges coming in the sky and just predict where air dribbles are going, is remarkable. On Card, just reminding everybody, chain dashing exists, by the way.
Match point here for Furia. And other matches starting to wrap up as well and get just a little bit spicy. As Card brings us to the corner. Gibbs, what do you got for us?
Pittsburgh Knights, a little bit of an underdog here versus Optic. They are up 2-1 at this point. And Axel versus Version 1, they are up 2-1 as well. What? Two big underdogs coming out pretty hot. They got 2 match points.
Yeah, Space Station and Version 1, 2 of the stronger looking teams out of that invitational qualifier. And V1 struggling. I tell you, it goes to show how much parity there's going to be in North America. Nobody is safe whatsoever. As CRR popped that one against Kaio, and AJG needed a second touch. He's got it. Raiseball coming in. Now CRR for the lead.
CRR, I think, got a little bit annoyed that we were talking about any other game. Yes, all right, mate, we're back to you. Raiseball going with that punt off the backboard, and CRR with the sheer speed that we've come to learn from him, sending it onto that back net. Brilliant movement from him. CRR, again, the man to score first for Complexity.
Raiseball, good win in the corner, but Card gets there first. Now Yan, all by himself. Not that that matters. He's bought his team enough time to come up. Kaio, a little hesitation, then he does jump, and CRR has the save. Now Yan waiting down in front. That's deadly, and CRR stopped that one too. Boy, CRR is earning his money with Complexity. The cross-regional transfer. Oh, and it almost led to a brilliant effort out of Raiseball. Now AJG, indirect for himself, and Card takes over.
I can't decide which region amazes me more with their mechanics. Either South American native teams or MENA teams. Because what I just saw from Raiseball, I thought that ball was just lost. He'd gone away from it. But then just to boost around it and get the reset, sure it doesn't lead to anything, but it's still very pretty.
I mean, both regions have amazed on multiple occasions. It's the defense you worry about sometimes, but the defense here has been exceptional against 2 teams that can light up the scoreboard against any lesser team for sure. This will waterfall downward, but just a little wide. AJG's low shot set away by Kaio, and Furia keeps their clinching hopes alive here in Game 4.
Gibbs, what you got?
I have a Brazil update. Dignitas Brazil energy in Game 2. Dignitas
that
is
does
up
not happen.
2-0.
This reminds me of 2018, and it's normally at World Championships. What is happening? What's going on? We don't get these in North American regionals. Okay. Well, God, it's also very on the South American theme to have a Brazil during this game. That's 3 regions now. Incredible.
We were talking about last year around this time how NRG, I don't think at that point had ever been Braziled in an RLCS match. I don't think they had ever lost any game by 7 goals, maybe 1. That's just incredible.
Didn't that change really recently? Is this their second time they've been Braziled? I
believe it's the second time. We'll have to get direct on that one. Of course, he's back as our statistician.
What guy?
He's the one who makes us all look and sound smart as this goes across. And Card nearly got an equalizer. Brought one down in front. Kaio's got to jump in, and CRR got in the way. Now Jan dropped down for Kaio. Raisebo's got to be careful. And he just got a piece. AJG kept it out, and Jan denied by CRR as well. Furia sent packing at every turn, and now they have to go back to the drawing board. Down to 3 seconds. Card's got to launch, and he's got enough boost in the tank. Can he get around AJG? He certainly can. Drop down Jan off the post, and we go to game 5.
Jesus! I've missed this. I've missed this shouting in my office.
You and me
here.
both.
My word. Okay, that final 20 seconds. Heart racing. Is that what Jorby feels like every time he watches South American Rocket League?
Imagine what he's going through right now.
Oh, every single stage of grief and just everything that he can imagine. That is unbelievable. He's like a rat with his brain wired up to a machine, giving him every emotion at once. Complexity, they take us to game number 5. It could have got, it was going nowhere else, Stacks.
Of course not. Jogo Cinco between Complexity and Furia. Coming up here, Gibbs, a wild, wild ride here in round 1.
Yeah, right now I'm watching Pittsburgh Knights have a 1-0 lead. They're up 2-1 versus Optic, and there's less than a minute to play in that game. So huge underdog upset there. If it happens, but I love that we chose the correct match. We're going to a game 5. We've seen overtimes. We've seen just heroics at the end that were so close to send it to more overtimes. So I'm just excited to focus in on this match.
That was, by the way, also the second time NRG has been Braziled, and the first time was last season when they got Braziled by FaZe. And this is the first time that they're playing in a main event this season. Unbelievable.
And real quick, Optic just tied game 4 as well. So 30 seconds left in that game.
Gibbs, super quick. If people aren't here, which stream do you recommend that they go to?
I would go to Energy stream because I wonder how Dazzard and James are doing right now. I would just love to hear that.
Everyone in chat.
So Energy GG, I believe, is their Twitch channel.
Yeah, everybody in chat, make sure you report back to us on the emotions that James and Daz are having because they went through, as I said earlier, every single stage of grief when Energy started losing. But thank you very much, Gibbs. We're into game number 5 now. It's Champions Field. It's the first time we're seeing a completely different region competing in a completely different region. Remarkable season already.
You couldn't ask for a better start here. Raisebowl stopped by Jan. Close call there for Complexity. We'll come back from a 2-1 deficit. They got to feel like this series should be over after they had a lead for much of game 1. And then Jan, a clutch goal to tie that game, and then the assist, setting up the overtime winner. The first minute here has gone by with nothing to separate Complexity and Furia, but Raisebowl's got other plans. AJG coming up as well, and CRR got to be very, very careful. Raisebowl heads back, so CRR can at least shadow Jan here. Now Card, little floater off the crossbar.
Oh, he went for a cheeky chip, but it wasn't quite able to get there. And AJG, the other side, gets the opening goal on Champions Field. The first one in this 22-23 season. Kaio in the midfield, bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and AJG taking the full advantage. Minute and a half, goal to Complexity.
His third goal of this series, very similar to one we saw from Raisebowl earlier. Catching Furia on their way back, being a little too aggressive, not able to catch up. Now Card, that's down in front, and Kaio almost pushed it in. Raisebowl and AJG to the rescue, but they can't rest at all because Jan is there, and he ties it.
That top corner has got a rental agreement with Jan. I swear, it's just again sent in from him, tapped so lightly over the top of Raise Ball. 6 seconds later, an equalizer from Furia.
Just over 90 seconds gone, and CRR is going to cheat up along the side. He's got Raise Bull behind him, but Jan will roll this out, and AJG had to hesitate for just a moment. Kaio waiting for the pass. His shot deflected by Raise Bull. CRR tried to stop Card. I think he got a piece of that. As Raise Bull has to pop it away. AJG's got CRR downfield. Redirect is in. Complexity back on top.
Who else to give Complexity the lead than CRR, their brand new signing? Raise Ball out of defense to AJG, the full three-man play, extending down the pitch, the bottom left corner, again erupting in the blue goal explosion for Complexity. In 30 seconds, we have had 3 goals, and they have all been magnificent.
How can you not love Rocket League after watching all this? Here's Raise Bull against Card. Now CRR is there to join the party. Jan and Kaio waiting. It's going to be Jan that takes over. Kaio coming in as well. He's got Jan up there. Jan looking to tie it up. Oh, he dropped it down to Kaio. And another equalizer.
Yet again is Kaio, with Jan being just the man to throw off anybody in the sky and then punts Raise Ball back down to the ground with a bump. 2-2. Furia, they're coming back in this game. It's now equal yet again. Opportunities though, because we've just seen how much these guys trade blows.
We just press the fast forward button, get to 0 seconds, and see what happens there as Kaio has to pop one away from Raise Bull. Jan is there. Can he get the double? No, it's certainly within his reach, but not this time, as Card's going to bring it all the way to the backboard, and CRR, great read, and now Jan coming through.
Comes a bit nervy in the final 2 minutes of these games, but I'm sure that the high-octane gameplay is going to be continuing, because neither one wants to show that their move was the one that, maybe shouldn't have been made. Complexity coming here a little bit earlier, but Furia, the brand new boys on the block with a couple of other teams and orgs as well. AJG central, but only Jan was waiting for him. CRR trying to go middle again with that ball. Kaio, not with a pre-jump, but just a very speedy rise to the skies. Card again to the center. AJG sending towards Raise Ball, but he managed to turn back. Does get the 100 boost though, so can hang around, but Jan keeping control of that ball. His 1v1s have been wonderful in this game so far. The 50s typically going his way as well. We approach the final 90 seconds, and every single touch, I swear, is just going dead even.
AJG circled around. He was hoping that ball would find him, but Raise Bull could not. Now Kaio going after CRR, trying to chase him down as CRR evades. Oh, got to get more active on the defensive end, though. AJG credited with the save on Jan's effort. Now AJG weaving through bar, and Jan will take it. CRR thought about it, and he thought better. But now Jan right at CRR off the post as CRR got a piece to deflect it wide.
Raise Ball with the pure safety play, send it towards the other side. Raise Ball again going for those bumps in the demos. Manages to bump Kaio away from that ball. Jan into the center. Again, though, just the chances are being punted away by Furia. Jan into that back corner. CRR to collect with 90 boosts to pick up the 100. Able to get it not too far because Card, that ball has nowhere to go. The ceiling blocking his trajectory.
37 seconds. Jan double tap. Oh, it's just off. And AJG there to meet Card as well. 30 seconds separate us from an overtime on Champions Field in round 1. CRR not able to get around Card. AJG circles back and Raise Bull comes in. CRR is there. The bar again. And Jan clears away. Another brought back in. And Raise Bull was trying to hit AJG. Not good enough though. Final countdown. Separating us from sudden death in round 1. And Raise Bull bumped by Card, so he can't go for it. Can he keep this in the air though? He can. But Card surely going to bring this to ground. No, they're going to play maybe a little aggressively here. Now finally we go to OT, round 1, day 1.
Stax, he said we may as well fast forward to this point, but I, for one, am extremely happy to watch all of that play out. Jan immediately from that kickoff sees the net open, but gets bumped away from the ball. Card to shoot with Raise Ball on the backboard, though he's able to get it towards the right-hand side. AJG to link up with as well. That chain linking is just so wonderful, and it has been the entire time they've teamed up together. Jan just fake out one, goes above AJG, but CRR again with a pre-jump finds himself with 0 boost though, and Card with an advantage here. Kaio removing Raceball, taking those demos. It goes central again, but AJG to send it away. Jan on target, just above the goal line. CRR again to clear it away. 35 seconds elapses, no goals yet, but it continues to be terrifying for Complexity.
CRR had to put his body in front with Card coming on, and now AJG there to help out. Only as far as Kaio at midfield. Jan and Card got to figure out who's going to take it. Of course, it's Jan, and he hit the corner. Now Card trying to keep the play alive. The great one sends one high, and Raceball deflects wide. Oh, Complexity hanging on for dear life. Just relieved to see the ball out towards midfield, but here's Card again. Stopped by CRR, and maybe a chance out for Complexity on the offensive end. But, oh, it's a mess right now. Raceball trying to pick up the scrap, and it goes to the corner where AJG has to watch Jan play over top of him.
With 0 boost, though, he's not going to be able to get too far down the pitch. Again, sends the corner, but AJG theoretically to hit that, but Card instead. Card again kept warm throughout this entire game, and he is scorching hot at the end.
Oh, you hate to see it come down to a tiny little mistake, but that's what happens as Furia takes advantage. Card comes through, and Furia starts off 1-0. The team that had to go through the closed qualifier manages to start off on the right foot when the games really count.
Can we get a Jorby heart rate check? Is that something that D-Rex tracks the stats of? Because I feel like it must have peaked at like 160 or something. That was an incredible series to kick us off game.
Wow. We saw the best goalkeeper of all. The post, the crossbar, we saw it all. We saw it all. But we are going to another